Money with Secure Money. I'm Rebecca Powers. So happy to be with you today. And of course, the CEO and founder of Secure Money Advisors, who brings you this show each week, is Brian Quaranta. Good to see you as always.
Good to see you as always. Yes.
So we get tons of, he's getting fan mail now. A lot of people are saying this fixed annuity you're talking about, zero risk.
Yeah.
Seems too good to be true. So let's start there.
Yeah. Well, first off, let's first talk about risk in general, right?
Yes.
Because, a lot of people need to define risk, in my opinion, a little bit differently than what we have been for a long time. The way that we define it at Secure Money Advisors is if it can go up in value or down in value, it's going to be risky.
And you have no control over it.
And you have
no matter
control.
what you do.
Yeah, you have no control over it. I mean, look, you look at just even the bond market right now. I mean, you can look at a 20-year Treasury bond. Who would have ever thought a 20-year United States Treasury bond would be down over 20%?
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I mean, most people are going to buy a 20-year Treasury bond for safety.
Right.
Okay? But
and that used to be the truth.
That it used to be the truth, but the problem is that you have interest rates going up at such a rapid pace right now that it's impacting the bond market. So risk is anything that can go up in value or down in value. And that's the reason why we define it that way, is because the financial industry has convinced us that there's different levels of risk, and some are more safer than others, like conservative, moderately conservative, aggressive, very aggressive. But we saw conservative portfolios this year lose, 20+%, more in some cases than even some equity portfolios. So, the first thing we always have to do is define what the purpose of your money is. And I always say that there's only 4 things that your money can do for you. It can either grow, it can provide you with income, it can be liquid and available to you, or it can be safe. So when you go, okay, these are the 4 things that the money can do. When I ask folks, right, that come to my office, out of growth, income, liquid, and safe, what's the number 1 priority? And they'll say, well, my account needs to provide income.
Yeah.
And then I'll say, well, what's number 2? And they'll say, well, we need it to be safe. And then you'll say, well, what's number 3? And they say, we still want it to grow because we want it to be, keep up with inflation.
Right.
And then they'll say, well, we also want to have access to it in case of an emergency. So now they just numbered these for me, and they say, okay, well, income's number 1, safety's number 2, growth is number 3, and liquidity is number 4. Okay, so now from there, you have some information of, okay, out of all the investment vehicles that I can choose from, okay, where am I going to go find something that can provide income? So you go, okay, well, what about a traditional mutual fund? Well, that can't provide income. Right? Most traditional mutual funds are growth-based.
So you're locked in.
So
you can't.
You're basically put money in. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. There's no. If you want to take income out, right? You could, but the problem is if you're taking income out and it's going down in value, you could run out of money.
You compound the loss. So what's the point? Right.
So now let's take that to your question. That is the fixed annuity. Okay. Yeah. So where does a fixed annuity come into play? Well, if you need income and then you need safety, this is a good place to do it. So. I had a lady come in, this was probably, 3-4 weeks ago. She had money at the bank, right, that she had in a money market account there. And she had called me and said, listen, I was referred to you. I've never come in. I've never sat down with an advisor before. But the problem is I've got $400,000 at the bank, and I'm getting $33 a month in interest. And I use this money to pay my heating bill in the winter. I pay my taxes with this. And now all I'm seeing is this money going down because I'm only earning $33 a month in interest. So we brought her in, and I talked to her about, what the purpose of the money was and what it needed to do. And we showed her how to go from $33 a month in interest to over $1,500 a month in interest. So now she has
a mortgage note.
Yeah, I mean, she literally has $1,500 a month in interest coming in now that she can use to pay her bills, to pay, her gas bill, to pay her taxes. And that, what I'm describing there, is the fixed annuity. That's what it does. So it's a very powerful tool for some people. And again, do you have to take risk? No, you're getting a contractual guarantee where it's principal protected.
Zero. You lose zero when the market goes down. So instead of rolling the dice in the market to maybe get 9 to 20%, I know for a fact it's locked in at maybe 4 or 5% roughly.
Yeah. So
right?
a fixed annuity is going to give you a fixed rate of return for a specified period of time. So you might get 4% or 5% for 5 years, right? So now every single year, that's what you're going to get, no matter what. It doesn't matter what's going on in the market. You turn the TV on. If there's absolute pandemonium on Wall Street, you're still getting your 4 or 5% guaranteed every single year.
And you know that's exactly what my husband and I chose to do.
Yes.
Because the thought of just losing 20, getting this silly statement that's got number, 40,000 less, I can't stomach it. I'd rather make 4 or 5% and know that zero is my hero.
That's right. And the thing is that it's okay to have some money in the market, potentially.
Because you want to be able to get that big growth, right?
Yeah, but you have to understand, if you're going to be in the market, that is a long-term game.
Yeah.
And you can't be rolling the dice with 100% of your money.
When you say long-term, I'm 54.
Yeah. So if I was building a plan for you, okay, what I would do is I would have enough of your money go into what I call our safe account or our pension account, all right? And that I would want to have enough money in there that could generate at least 15 to 20 years worth of retirement income for you, okay? So now I know this bucket right here is going to last for 15 to 20 years. That means that any money that we now have in the market is 15 to 20 year money, meaning it's got that long period of time to grow.
Gotcha.
So when you have a time period of 15 to 20 years to grow your stock market money, you have a high probability of success of that account balance being up.
Because of compounding interest, the
Interest,
miracle.
compounding interest, time.
And I'm not taking it out for income.
And you're not taking it out from income because you're taking it out from over here.
I have it over here.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
Yep.
Okay, one more thing about annuities, because that's the route, like I said, that we chose to go. You know that. How is it possible? Because, again, we get so many letters and emails about you. How is that possible?
Yeah.
Explain how the insurance companies do that.
Yeah, so it's actually really simple. So let's first talk about how the banks do it, and then you'll understand how the insurance companies do it.
Okay.
So when we would give our money to the banks, right? Actually, when they wanted our money, right? They used to have to pay us some interest to get our money. They don't need it anymore. They give us, 0.1% now.
It's so weird. I don't understand that either. But anyway, go on.
Let's just say that, the bank, you can go to the bank and get a 3% CD. Okay. So let's say I give $100,000 to the bank, right? And now they're going to give me 3% a year or $3,000. But they tell me that I need to have that account for the next 3 years or 4 years, right? So I've got to choose a term to hold that account for, right? But every year that I'm in there, I'm going to get 3% on that money. Now, what the bank is going to do with that money is they're not going to put it in a little box called Brian Quaranta, and this is his $100,000, and it's here, and it's earning 3% interest. No, the banks are going to use our money. As a matter of fact, they're going to lend it out.
To lend out.
Or invest, right? They're doing lending it out is investing, right? So they're going to lend it out in the form of a car loan. They're going to lend it out in the form of a mortgage. Now, if they're giving us 3%, right? How much is a mortgage right now? A mortgage is at like 7% right now. 7% right now. Okay, how much is a car loan right now? It could be 6, 7%. So let's just say it's 6, okay? So they're paying us 3, but they've just lent the money out and they're earning 6. So the difference between the 6 that they're making and the 3 that they're paying us is 3%. That's called the spread. And that's how the banks make money. The insurance companies do exactly the same thing. But here's the difference. The insurance companies are highly regulated, meaning they can only invest in certain things. The banks can do risky things like car loans, mortgage loans, and all kinds of different things, all right? And I won't even get into how our fractional reserve system works because that'll blow everybody's mind. But
remember, you're here to keep it simple. That's what you're so good at.
But just understand that the insurance...
So the spread, that's the money they take.
That's right. So now the insurance company is going to do the same thing. We give $100,000 to the insurance company, right? But the insurance company now is going to do the same thing, but they are typically going to buy long-term AAA rated bonds, right? That they can get money on. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, wait a second. I thought when interest rates go up, bond prices go down. They do, right? But if I hold the bond till maturity, I get all my interest and all my principal back. An insurance company, because they have billions of dollars, can hold the bond to maturity, right? So if it's a 20-year bond paying 7%, even if interest rates are up and the bond price is potentially down, they're still getting their 7% a year on that money. And by the way, when they hold it the full 20 years, they're going to get all their principal and interest back.
So it's guaranteed to us.
So it's guaranteed to us and it's guaranteed to them. Okay.
Gotcha.
So the insurance companies are working exactly the same way the banks are. The only difference is it's with an insurance company and not a bank.
And highly regulated.
And the insurance companies are highly regulated. They can't go out there and just roll the dice with that money. They're very strict in what they can buy and the quality of what they can buy. And this is why we can trust the insurance companies during very volatile times. Because think about it. Where do we insure risk? Who do we insure risk with? We insure risk with insurance companies.
Okay.
Right? So think about it. If
your home insurance,
my
your
home
car
insurance, my car insurance, right? My health insurance, they're insuring all of our risks. So
good point.
if I want to insure my retirement risk, okay, I can do that by utilizing an insurance company. And Wall Street did a really good job in painting the annuity word as this really bad thing.
Yeah, they demonized it so we would keep our money in the risky stocks and bonds. And I hate to cut you off, Brian, but let's pick this up in a minute because we need to take a very short break.
We'll come back to this topic. But folks, before we go to break, I want you to take advantage of our Right Track Retirement Review because I really, truly built it to help you get some more clarity and peace of mind around your retirement. So I want you to pick up the phone, call us today. We're going to go over 5 key areas when you come in. We'll talk about your income, your taxes, your investment strategy, your healthcare strategy, and your estate planning strategy. But you got to do your part. You got to pick up the phone and call us. Call 1-888-382-1298 and schedule your Right Track Retirement Review today.
All right, and we're going to talk more about Wall Street and the risk you might be taking. Do you even know your risk? Stay with us.
See, everybody can tell you how to invest your money. There's not a lot of people out there and a lot of firms that can teach you how to use your money. Most people will also tell you that they're scared. And the reason they're scared is because they're afraid of running out of money.
The last thing you want to do is have a really good job into your 60s, retire, and be looking for work again in your late 70s.
The average person might say, well, a good portfolio would be a good mix of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. No. A good portfolio is all designed around the 5 key areas: income, taxes, investments, healthcare, and legacy planning.
We're not just product pickers here. What we do best here is we build retirement plans.
9 out of 10 people, when they walk through the door, would ask us, we just want to know if we're on the right track. And I always say, if you're not on the right track, when would be a good time to know it? Probably now.
People, can actually see a vision once we start to really build out their plan.
This is about you. If you're not getting what you need, and you feel that when you walk out of the advisor's office, it's time to get a second opinion. And you can't get a second opinion from the person that gave you the first opinion. The difference at Secure Money Advisors, as a fiduciary firm, we help you manage the risk, build the income, and give you the retirement you dreamed of.
Welcome back. So we were talking about risk and how you don't need to be risky. You don't need to be worried at night every time you turn on the news. It's so upsetting. You were talking about how Wall Street's done a really good job of painting a picture.
Yeah, of how terrible annuities are, right? I mean, they've done a good job demonizing them.
Yes.
And it's interesting because I believe in all financial products. Okay,
Sure.
I don't think there's anything bad out there. You just have to really educate yourself on them because, if you're reading an article and someone's demonizing a specific financial product, you have to ask yourself, well, what's their agenda? What do they do? As an independent fiduciary firm, think about it. If I'm a fiduciary and I'm held to the highest standard, why in the world would I choose to ever use an annuity?
Right, if it's a bad product.
I mean, if it's a bad product.
Yeah.
Wouldn't I be worried about regulators coming down on me like crazy?
Right.
Because I'm using an annuity? No, it's because the annuity solves a problem that no other financial product can solve, and that's providing safety and income. Now, I will say, there are definitely annuities that I would stay away from.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a big fan of the variable annuity, okay? The variable annuity, invest your money in the market, it's at risk, there's lots of fees associated with it, there's a bunch of bells and whistles on it, it's a pretty complicated product. I personally don't like it, all right? Mm-hmm. But, at the end of the day, it might solve a problem for somebody, right?
And variable means it varies.
It varies.
With
the market. It goes up and down in value, yeah. So, and then, I'm not a big fan of what they call the immediate annuity either. This is when, you would give your money to an insurance company and they would pay you monthly income, but you lose control of your principal. So at Secure Money Advisors, We want to use the plain vanilla annuities that give our clients the protection, the security, the income they need, but the flexibility to take their money out, to make changes, and never lose control of the money.
And lower fees.
Lower fees. Yeah.
Which is another really good
Well, the great
part.
thing about fixed annuities is there are no fees. It's no
no
different-
fees.
There's no fees on it because it's no different than the bank. Think about it. Do we pay a fee on a bank CD? No, we
Okay.
don't. Because
Gotcha.
again, the bank's lending it out, right? And they're making money off the spread. Same thing with the insurance company. They don't need to charge a fee.
Yeah.
Why do you think Wall Street doesn't like them? They can't charge fees on them.
They can't charge fees. And again, not to keep going back to the big box retailer, we won't say any of their names, but that's exactly what the great thing is about you being an independent.
Yes.
You could pick any annuity, any company, any insurance. You can kind of
Right.
sit back with your cup of coffee and look around and get the best for your individual person.
And we do. That's exactly what we do. And that's the one thing that I love about what we do and why I'm passionate about my work today, because when you're at the big box firms, you got a menu of services, you got a menu of products. You know, a lot of these guys will talk that they can do anything, but the reality is there's a menu there, you know, and
That's
I know
right.
because I worked at them, right? And I
Right.
know
You
people
know.
that still work at them.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is why if you look at my industry, the financial planning industry, more and more individuals are leaving the big box firms to go independent
Yeah.
because they don't want to sit down with a client and have an agenda or only have a very specific group of products or services that they can offer. And that is one thing that we pride ourselves at Secure Money Advisors, is that we get to do the very, very best for our clients because we have the freedom and autonomy to do it.
And you don't have to hide under the desk whenever the stock market, like you said
right.
once,
Yeah.
market's down 20% and everybody's calling.
Yeah.
So your clients, you kind of keep up with them. It's not just a once a year.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that. It's that trust. It's that
Yeah.
relationship. I know your beautiful wife works in the office.
Yeah.
It is truly a family affair.
Yeah.
So they can go. There's no question too small, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, hey, should I buy my daughter a car with cash? Or should I go ahead and get that bank loan? Is any question too small?
No, we you know, we field those questions all day long. You know, we've got a great team at the office. There's 15 of us there. You know, my wife, Kate, has been able to take over some operations. You know, obviously with us being new parents, you know, she was an HR director for a long time at a company in Pittsburgh. And, you know, we decided that after we had the two boys, that it was just going to be a lot easier for her to stay at
Yes.
home. But she's very career driven too.
So she
and
wants to
so,
be there.
You know, running the business and being financial planner are two different jobs.
Right.
So by her being able to take over some of the operations has really helped me stay in the seat of planning and doing things like I'm doing today.
Right.
Being on TV and sharing my message with folks. And those are the things that I absolutely love to do. But, you know, your question was, you know, what does kind of our servicing model look like to our
Yes.
clients as the years go on? And, you know, my dad had a Montgomery Ward's catalog store. Do you remember Montgomery Ward's?
Barely.
Yeah. And then my grandfather had a Kirby vacuum store. Do you remember?
Yes, I do remember that.
Now, true story, my dad's and my grandfather's store, it was in a strip mall. My dad's Montgomery store, Ward store was here, and my grandfather's Kirby store was here. And so they got me real cheap labor. I would bounce back and forth all day long, right? Go help your grandfather, go help your dad, go help your grandfather, go help your dad. And one of the things that they both taught me, because they both had their own businesses, was it's one thing to have a client, right? But it's another thing to service the client.
And
right?
keep the client.
And keep the client, right? So, you know, we do a lot of things throughout the year. And, you know, we have what we call our 411 client servicing process, which I love. We have, you know, 4 individual client events a year. I send out a weekly email with all kinds of updates on all kinds of different things of what's going on in the marketplace. And then we have this mandatory annual review, but we also give our clients access to unlimited financial planning appointments throughout the course of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it's great.
Fantastic. All right, we need to take a very, very, very short break. We want you to know the number, 888-382-1298. There's always that QR code that you easily take you to our landing page. Please have your calendar ready. We want to get you an appointment. We save about 10 slots each week for each individual show. Tell them what they're going to get when they
folks,
come in.
Right Track Retirement Review. Please take advantage of this. I truly built this for you to help give you more clarity and peace of mind in retirement. When you come in, you're going to meet with my team. We're going to sit down. We're going to go through 5 key areas with you: income, taxes, investments, healthcare, and your estate planning. It will be an appointment that will give you a tremendous amount of clarity. So, but you got to do your part. Pick up the phone. Call us today. Schedule that time, 1-888-382-1298. My team is standing by to get you scheduled to come in. And when you schedule, we'll also send you a copy of my book, complimentary, Right Track Your Retirement. It's a simple planning guide to help you minimize risk and maximize your income in retirement.
And he will even pay for the postage and handling, and there is no obligation, just about an hour for that first appointment. Make that call, make your appointment, stay with us. More with On the Money and your secure money.
If I could help you increase your income, if I could help you pay less taxes, if I could help you potentially maximize the returns of your investments while reducing risk, reducing fees, if I could help you prepare for a health event, or more importantly, when the good Lord decides to take you home, to make sure that the money you've accumulated over your lifetime goes to your family and to your charities rather than the IRS, would that be worth the time to come in and get a second opinion?
All right, welcome back. We're talking about ways to mitigate your risk, completely get rid of your risk, which my husband and I decided to do. Now, we do have still some of it in the stock market, and you said because of my age, it's good to let it grow. But is it wise for someone to just say, forget Wall Street, I'm done with those jokers, and take it completely out, or you would not suggest that?
Yeah, I mean, there are people that are fortunate enough that they don't need to take any risk at all. You know, so we met with some clients, you know, with some folks a few weeks ago, and they're both going to be retired teachers, okay?
So they have pensions, which is rare.
They both have pensions. So
That's
not only do
good.
they have pensions, but they have Social Security also. So between the two of them, they got 4 sources of income coming in. The pensions and the Social Security that they have coming in is more than enough money for them to live off of. So then you say, well, okay, well, what is your goals with your money? We just don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
We just don't want to lose it. We want to protect it.
Yeah.
We want to try to get a reasonable rate of return, but we don't want any risk to it, right? Now, at Secure Money Advisors, we understand that as zero risk, no downside,
Gotcha.
right? So sure, why in the world for somebody like that has more than enough income coming in from pensions and Social Security,
Yeah.
right? Why in the world wouldn't we take that money and buy a guaranteed account, maybe paying 4 or 5% in guaranteed interest,
Okay.
right? To where
Yeah.
they can never lose any money
Perfect.
whatsoever. Because people might say, well, at 4 or 5% interest, how are you going to keep pace with a 9% inflation rate? Well, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to keep pace with it. I'm not going to lose any money. You are, right? So
Exactly.
your $500,000 is going to go down by 20 or 30%. Their $500,000, no matter what happens, they're going to earn 4 to 5% every single year guaranteed. Warren Buffett said the number one way to keep pace with inflation, don't lose any money.
Don't lose any money. And Ben Franklin said it so many years ago, a penny saved is a penny earned.
That's right.
And I just thought, oh, that doesn't really, but now that I'm older and paying taxes and
Yeah.
all these wonderful things,
Yeah.
I realize, wow, it's so true because of that compounding interest.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I mean, you know, look, everybody's situation is just so different,
Right.
Like that you know, the folks that I just shared with you.
Right.
Not everybody can do that because, you know, most people, 85 to 90% of the people are not getting pensions.
Right.
So this is that rare group of people that have enough money between Social Security and pensions that they don't need to roll the dice.
Yeah, good.
You know, so, and
So
when I do
good.
meet folks like that and I say, why are you taking the risk that you're taking? And they said, well, to keep pace with inflation.
Or they
Well,
just don't know, to
well,
be
how are you
honest.
keeping pace with inflation when you're down 30% right now? Because if you
Right.
look at your average return over the last 10 years, you would have been better off in a guaranteed account paying 4 to 5% because your 10-year average is at like 2% now. So sometimes people aren't connecting these dots because Wall Street has been so loud with their message
Right.
for so long. And look, Rebecca, I don't want people to be mistaken. I believe in Wall Street.
Sure, we need it.
We do risk investments at Secure Money Advisors, but I
Right.
want people to get really serious about not just taking risks because somebody tells them that's the place to go.
Right.
You got to really think about why do you need risk? What is going to be the benefit of it? And if the market goes down 20%, 30%, you know, and then it goes down again the next year, and then it goes down the next year, are you going to be able to stomach staying in there? Right?
No.
Because you want to know the biggest mistake people make? Selling at the wrong time. And this is why I believe in the bucket strategy, because if you have enough money protected, where your retirement's protected, and you have money that you can afford to take risk with in the market, now when the market goes down, you're not panicked. The people that are panicked are the ones that are taking risk with money they cannot afford to
And like
lose.
you just touched on, they lose because they goes down, they panic, they sell.
Right.
Worst time.
Yes.
Because explain that.
Yeah, because they're down, and now you really lose because you have no way, right? They typically will sell and go to cash, but here's the next thing they do. The storm rolls through, right? And now the market goes up, 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 up. And they don't get in right down here when the market's going up, right? They wind up getting in up here. So they miss a lot of the recovery here before they actually get back in. And so they never recover. And, you know, and there's a study that was done. I think it was by either Dalbar or Limmer or whatever. Don't quote me on who it was, but they looked at the average return of the average mutual fund. It was 10.6%. Average return of the average mutual fund, 10.6%.
Right now or historically?
Historically.
Okay.
Then they looked at the average return of the average investor, and it was 3.7%.
Wow.
So why is the average return of the average mutual fund 10.7 and the average return of the average investor 3.7? And it was all due to bad investor behavior.
Really?
Selling low, buying high. So why do you need a plan that's going to give you staying power, emotional staying power?
That's right.
Because you have to understand you're never going to be able to control the markets. So if you've got 100% of your money at risk, when things get volatile, I can promise you most people make poor decisions when they have their entire life savings in the market and it's gone down this year and it goes down next year. Look at 2000, 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
The market went down 3 years in a row. How many people had the guts to stay in? You know, and hey, look, if you were 35 or 45 or even 50 back then,
you could do it.
You probably had no problem staying in.
Yeah.
But if you were 65, I can guarantee you were thinking about things differently, because I talk to people all the time, right? They say, we just think about our money differently now that we've reached our 60s.
Absolutely.
We don't think about it the same. But this is why I created the Right Track Retirement Review, folks, because these are the things that we talk to you about. We want to give you the clarity, the peace of mind that you deserve going to retirement. We want to show you better ways to approach retirement than what you might currently be doing. So call today to schedule your complimentary Right Track Retirement Review. It's 1-888-382-1298. Don't keep your head in the sand here. Get a second opinion, okay? This is not the time to kick the can down the road. Call 1-888-382-1298 and schedule your Right Track Retirement Review today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brian. And it's great to find out if you're on the right track. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.